Welcome back to another episode of Torque. Well, as you can see, it's cold as hell here. It's in the mid-20s. Sorry it's taken so long to get this next video out, but I was fixing the new hood on the Chevelle. I'll show you guys some pictures right now. Yeah, it took a little bit longer than expected. But anyway, let's move on to our next project. Our next project is something I thought I'd never work on, which would be a Ford. And it is a 1965 Ford Mustang Convertible. It's been in my wife's family for probably close to 40 years. So let's head out, go pick this thing up, and then we'll assess how much work we need to do on it.
They did it.
All right, we're heading out.
Hello, people. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there goes the mouse. Oh!
Yeah, oh, he's too fat to get in!
Oh! Oh, there he goes! Oh! Patty's gonna get you!
Who would have ever thought that I'd have a Mustang in the barn to redo? It's going to be quite the challenge. Let's take a look at this thing and see the condition a little bit. All right, so our plan of attack is we're going to probably take apart the entire interior, all the carpeting, everything. We'll leave the steering wheel in place just so we can steer this. Door panels, we'll pull out the side glass, maybe pull off the convertible top, pull off all the trim, windshield, and then we'll head up to the engine compartment. This is a 289 with a C4 transmission. We're thinking about going to an aftermarket block and an overdrive transmission, but we'll have to do some research on that. Hood hinges have already locked up on me, so that hood is going to have to come off. We'll have to get some new hinges. Of course, we'll replace the radiator with aluminum one, maybe with electric fan on. So we've got a lot of work to do up here. We'll completely disassemble this, and we'll have a lot of research to do. So we're going to go ahead and start on the interior, and I'll show you guys after I pull everything apart what the condition is. All right, we're looking at the interior of this. You can see the mice have had a heyday in this. I put some traps out. I didn't catch any more mice. I think they've all vacated. So we're going to start pulling apart the interior, pull out the back seat, some of these back covers. We're going to see what we have for a floorboard. Okay, I just removed the driver's side seat, so I have a little bit of knowledge, just enough to make me dangerous. So these actually bolt in from the bottom, which is kind of surprising to me. All GMs, you know, you put a bolt through the top. Coming through the bottom though, there's a void. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you have a plug here, and there's 4 plugs. You pull those out and you can get to the nut on the back side. So it's a little bit more difficult. Some of them are really housed pretty far up there. So we're gonna go ahead and pull those out, and then we'll pull this passenger seat out. All right, so here's one of the plugs. Covers up the hole. Of course, it's just cracking apart. And it's just a nut. It's on the back side, 1/2-inch nut. The threads are kind of long, takes you a little bit. I would definitely have an air ratchet. All right, we only have a few more things to pull out, and then we can pull out the remainder of the carpet. So this rear window crank, I thought that we would need the tool that they use for the old 60s vehicles, and I think we'll have to use that for the door handle in the front and the crank in the front. But for this, it just has an Allen key, which was already loose, and there we go, it pulled right off. So now we just have to pull out some screws here. Once we get these screws out, I think we'll be able to pull this whole cover off, and then we can pull the carpet out. Of course, there is a screw buried in the very back. So this top is not working, but somehow I'm going to have to get this thing down. So I'm going to see if I can't manually kind of push this thing down. All right, let's see. I unlatched it, and look at that, it's pushing right down. So it'll be a little bit easier with everything down. Let's go ahead and take off the last screw, and then we should be able to pull this apart. There we go. Ugh. Mice have had a heyday in here. All right, we'll go ahead and take out the other one, and I would show you that, but I'll show you pulling out the carpet, and we'll see how nasty it looks underneath. All right, let's yank this carpet out. Oh, this is gonna be nasty. I know it is. Well, holy crap. I think oil spilled in here. This actually may be good back here. I'm gonna get out the ice pick in a few minutes. We're gonna check out the rest of this and see if there's any other rust. I can't believe this so far. All right, you may be able to see this whole edge is rotted away, but I want to see if the rest of the pan is good. So I got my trusty awl. We're gonna get this blasted, but I want to get an indication of what we're gonna have to replace. I can see this. Look at this whole section we're gonna have to replace, but I can just do a partial pan, or I can just do the whole section. This is just kind of amazing because underneath it looks horrible. I know on the driver's side, I believe there's an area that may be bad. So it may be just the forward pans. So let's come back here to the rear pan. We still have some of that tar. That's just kind of amazing. Normally convertibles, they'll rust out, especially in the back. At least my Chevelle, it had some spots, but yeah, this is kind of amazing. Yeah, we still have some of that tar. Well, the metal looks good back here. All right, so I think I spoke a little too soon, because in the driver's side, I don't know if you can see that, but there is a gap. Someone just put a plate in here. You can see that this is all rusted. All the lower rocker is gone. So floor pan, lower rocker, that's all going to be replaced. There's almost like a pretty thick reinforcement plate. That's got to be replaced. Let's go to the other side. Okay, this side, you can see that the pan actually goes right up against that frame section, or that metal that acts like a frame section, but of course this piece is completely rotted out. And of course the lower part of the rocker, the inner portion is completely gone. So that's going to have to get replaced. And this reinforcement plate, it's also going to have to get replaced. So let's head back up top. All right, I cleaned up the inside just a little bit, just swept it out. I'm gonna have to try and get some more of that tar up, but we'll do that at a later time. So I'm gonna go ahead and work my way around. I'm gonna try and tackle the trunk, and I'll show that on the next episode. I'm also gonna try and get the top, the side windows, and try and get all this stuff taken off, and then we'll move into the engine compartment. So I'm gonna try and do these in shorter videos. Not gonna try and bore you guys, but you'll see the total disassembly, and then we're gonna take this completely apart, put it on the rotisserie, and we're gonna take it to the sandblaster. So just stick with me. It'll be a couple more episodes before I get it completely tore apart, but we'll get it taken care of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I definitely did. This is completely new to me, and I hope to see you on another episode of Torqued.